going on, guys? Man, I'm hyped. Let me see if they started. They usually start no more than 10 minutes after. So it's 3:59 right now, about to hit 4 p.m. Eastern. Hold on, let's see if they starting. Hold on. Nope, that's their little music they be playing. So what's going on? What's up with y'all? I gotta admit, I'm excited to be back. I'm excited to be back. I know it's going to be hard on me, though. I do know that. Because we got a lot of fights, yo. It's a lot of dates. A lot of dates. So what's up with y'all? What you guys up to? Yeah, Tuesday night. The schedule. Hold on. Let me pull it up real quick. Yeah, it's pretty husky. So while we're waiting for the media call to start, it's going to be Shakur Stevenson, 126-pound WBO champion, Felix Caraballo, and Bob Arum on the call. So we can expect to hear about what the protocols and everything's going to be for boxing when it comes back. Well, now that it's back. So here, let's go look at the schedule real quick. My setup is going to be changed by Tuesday. All this stuff is going to be different. So that's why it's a little, you can see my little stuff up at the top. It's a little tacky. But we're changing up. Let me see if they're on the call. I got to keep checking in. See if it started yet.
Continue to stand by.
All right, they're about to start soon. So, let me zoom in. Now, look at all these dates. Now, let me tell you. If you cut, like, for somebody like me, this shit is daunting. So this is a $5 Facebook card right here. Can y'all see this? Let me zoom in a little bit more. This June 6th card, I'm covering it. This is what Carlos Molina. Remember, he was supposed to fight Charlo, but he got that stat rape charge, and now he can only fight like other places and shit. He fought Erislandy Lara. He fought a lot of people. Like, he was a name in the boxing community, like kind of like a boogeyman a long time ago. So starting with Top Rank, this Tuesday, outside of the Facebook card, June the 9th, June the 11th, June the 16th, June the 18th, June the 20th, June the 23rd, June the 25th, June the 27th, June the 30th, July the 2nd, July the 7th. And that's just what we have right now. Are you listening to those dates? Like, I'm going to be busy as shit, bros. But we're going to get it done. I'm getting it done for you, the people. We're going to get it done. So consider this as the beginning. Now I'm going to be pumping out preview videos, and it's just going to be, so once the media call starts, I'm actually going to step away a little bit. I'm going to be listening to it in the background. But it's all live. This was all live. But I got some other shit to do, So I'm probably going to go to the supermarket tomorrow and just bunker down. And plus ain't nowhere to go anyway. The fucking people in Philly done fucked everything up. We got a lot to talk about. Hey, what do you guys think about a nighttime show? 5 nights a week, something like 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., some shit like that, my time. I'm very close. I'm thinking about it, man. When are they going to start? Like, anything goes. So, yeah, we don't know what PBC's doing yet, but a PBC fighter, Luis Neri, is on one of these Top Rank cards. Which one? Let me find it real quick. Let's go over there. Let me find it real quick. By the way, I think it's time to end all that PBC versus Top Rank crap. They work together now. Al Heyman and Bob Arum have a working relationship. So you need to stop all that bullshit, man. The Zone is on my shit list, though. I do want to say that. That's the music they play before all the media calls. Shit like that. But as far as like major fights, it's going to be hard to see, man, because face it, we're in June right now. And, they're not holding out hope that we're going to get arena fights this year, or at least until October. And shit, October's a long time away. Like, October is a long time away. You know what, though? I am glad we got Wilder versus Fury 2, though. That was our last major fight. And then what was the fight? What was the last significant fight before the world shut down? I bet you don't remember. The last significant fight. Bet you don't remember. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See, I told you ain't know. It was when Kownacki got beat up by Robert Hernandez. That was kind of unexpected. Are we here?
Hey, well, first off, I want to thank all the media for hopping on this call.
Can y'all hear clearly?
Bring back world-class boxing on Top Rank on ESPN. We will kick things off Tuesday, June 9th, from the MGM Grand Conference Center with one of the sport's most dynamic young stars, WBO featherweight world champion Shakur Stevenson, who is testing the waters in a 10-round super featherweight bout against Puerto Rican contender Felix La Sombra Caraballo. We also have a stacked undercard on hand. Michaela Mayer will be in the co-feature against Helen Joseph. And then we also have undefeated heavyweight KO artists Jared Anderson and Guido Vianello in separate 6-round bouts. And now a special programming note for both the June 9th and June 11th events, June 11th being headlined by Jessie Magdaleno versus Yenifel Vicente. It will be televised by both ESPN and ESPN Deportes starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. It'll be a 4-hour block of programming, and all of the fights will be shown on both networks. Also on the call today with us is the founder and chairman of Top Rank, Mr. Bob Arum. So at this time, it gives me a great pleasure to introduce Bob for his opening statement.
Well, looks like we're back, you know. This is a momentous occasion. Boxing is back after a 3-month lapse. I'm really proud that Top Rank is the first promoter out of the box. We have a great show on the 9th of June. Then we continue on virtually 2 and 3 boxing events a week. Boxing is going to come back, believe me, bigger and more important than ever. And in this 2-month period, in June or July, where looks like there won't be any NBA, any Major League Baseball, the spotlight will be on the sport of boxing, and with the bouts that we've lined up, I believe that the public will once again be enthused about the competitive level in the sport. I know you want to hear from the fighters, and they're here, and so I'll turn it back to Evan.
Yes, we have Felix Caraballo here with us now. So first, before we get to the question, Felix, what can you tell us about this opportunity in front of you, fighting a world champion like Shakur Stevenson, as boxing makes its big return?
Let's look this guy up.
First of all, good afternoon. Well, this is a great question, Fighting with Shakur is going to be interesting, I can make this opportunity go. I just going to go and train hard, and I'm going to get it off. I'm going to give everything on June 9. I'm going to do my work and try to get that W for us, for everything.
And Ashley, please prompt the reporters to ask questions if they so like.
Certainly at this time, if you would, please press star then 1 if you would like to ask your question today. Again, that is star and 1 to ask your question today. And first question from Dan Raphael with Boxing Scene. Please go ahead.
That was me.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for doing this. Welcome back, Bob and everybody.
Real quick.
My question for you, Felix, is this. Can you, first of all, I have 2 questions for you. The first one is, can you just tell me a little bit about your feelings about having your first fight outside of Puerto Rico and it will be on somewhat unusual circumstances given there won't be any fans in attendance.
Well, it's going to be, I feel great. I feel emotional. My last fight was in January, and knowing I'm going to fight now in June with Shakur Stevenson, knowing that he's one of the best prospects right now, and he's the 126 champion. I'm 126 too, but they give me this opportunity at 130, which I'm gonna go and give it all. This is a great opportunity. I can give this opportunity to go, and I just don't want to fight. I want to fight, and it's not gonna have fully, but I don't have no problem with that. I just want to go to that ring and do my job.
So my other question, you mentioned about the weight. You basically fought your whole career at featherweight. Shakur has done the same. This fight's over the weight, not for his title. I know you're excited about the fight, getting back in the ring, but is there any small part that's disappointing that you're getting a chance to fight against a world champion, but yet it's not going to be for that title?
Well, it's a little bit disappointing, not fighting for that title. I think it's every boxer dreams. I put for a fight shot, but I think fighting with him in 130 without that title, it could open me a lot of doors. So I'm gonna get this great opportunity for that. I'm gonna give it all, and I know that if we win, we could open all fights and better fights.
Terrific. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I have one question for Bob. Are you there, Bob?
Yes.
Hey, Bob. Welcome. Can you just briefly sort of explain the thought process about how you went about bringing these fights back? And I sort of get it, like that these initial bouts are not for titles if you have world champions, but can you just explain sort of the thought behind that?
Yeah, I mean, this is not an easy job. It seems like it's easy, but my people, Brad Jacobs and Todd DeBuff, really been working for months on this, getting the protocols in shape, the testing, working with the Nevada Commission and its medical staff. I mean, this is something that nobody, at least on our end, had any experience with. So it's really been a work in progress, continues to be a work in progress. Imagine guys come into Vegas to get into the bubble, which is a special floor at the MGM. They got to be tested. They're in the bubble. They got to be escorted to a place to shake out and train, to a place to eat. We have a special dining room set up in the convention center. All of this is something that none of us is used to. Now, we're not starting out with title fights, but we're going to, before long, by the third week, start doing some world title fights, because there are other issues with the organizations which we're working out. So it's one step at a time. It's not easy. I mean, and it's not inexpensive. For example, testing, just the testing for coronavirus for each event will cost us in excess of $25,000. Just the testing, plus the rooms, the special security, the meals, and the dining in the convention area. This is a very, very large undertaking, but obviously it has to be done. We've got to get boxing started up. We're going to probably be doing this perhaps for 3 months, for June and July definitely, and then in August, and hopefully by September, we're going to start getting back to doing events with spectators with a limited capacity. That's our second phase that we're working on. And the third phase hopefully by the end of the year, we'll be doing events with virtually full capacity. But that's down the line. So, I mean, this is really big responsibility on our part to start this off, start it off in the right foot. As I said, our protocols, which we've been working on for months, are available to all promoters all over the world. There's no competition here. We want to get everybody to do the right things necessary to get started in boxing as big as possible.
Can you guys hear an echo?
Thank you very much, Bob. I appreciate it. Good luck with everything.
Thank you.
That was my question about the
And
protocols.
that's Keith Eidig with BoxingScene.com. Please go ahead.
Well, I was just wondering if you could tell us what type of fight you expect Caraballo to give Shakur Stevenson, and maybe a little bit about Caraballo as a fighter.
Who did you ask that to?
That's for you, Bob.
Yeah, well, the wrong guy. I mean, Carl Moretti and our matchmakers are familiar with Caraballo. They think it's a very competitive fight. That's good enough for me. I've never seen the young man fight, but he comes highly recommended by Moretti and our matchmakers.
Okay, what are you expecting from Shakur at 130 pounds, Bob?
Shakur is, I said it when we did our first fight, Shakur Stevenson is a future star in the sport of boxing, a future superstar. I look on him as the southpaw version of Floyd Mayweather, and I think he will exceed the performances by Floyd. I just think he's a rare talent, and I think that he's a young man who's growing in size, and so I think 130 pounds will be a brief stop in his career because he's growing into a welterweight and maybe even a junior middleweight.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Bob.
And we'll take our next question from Carlos Toro with Fightful. Please go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. Felix, my first question is obviously, not a lot of people know a lot about you, given that there's not a lot of video on you. You primarily fought in Puerto Rico. But what does it mean to you to sort of kind of come into this position, not just as an underdog, but someone who the general audience in the United States really has no idea of how you are as a fighter? Is that going to help with motivation or with, potentially coming up and surprising everyone?
Well, I know there's not a lot of video about me. Nobody know about me a lot. I've been doing my career here in CI. But I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think when we get to the fight, we're just going to do our job.
One quick question for Bob, if he's still there.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
So one of the things that I think certainly surprised a couple of people was you being able to bring in Andrew and Jason Maloney from Australia to the United States. So my question to you is, what does this mean that there are potential plans or something in the works of potentially maybe bringing in other fighters on top-ranked roster from outside the United States and seeing if that could potentially fit into the schedule or the amount of shows that you guys got up ahead?
That's a good question. The Maloneys, we take no credit for getting them into the United States. We told them there was a problem. They internally solved the problem with the Australian government. So all kudos to them. They got here. They were in my office earlier today. They're working out in the gym. They'll be going the third week in June, the fourth week in June, the third week of the fights. As far as fighters outside the United States, there's a limit to what we can do. In other words, we don't fly the planes. I have no influence with this White House, thank God, as to lifting travel bans. But where there's a will, there's a way. I know that Vasyl Lomachenko, for example, will be coming to the United States in sometime in June. Janibek, Kazakhstan guy, will be coming. I don't know when the Brits can come. I don't know when the Canadians can come. This is really out of our hands now. So every fighter that wants to come over and wants to participate in these shows and continue with their career has got to find a way to do that on their own or with their advisors. We'll facilitate anything we can, but, you know, our power is greatly limited.
All right, thanks, Bob, and thank you, Felix. Best of luck on June 9th.
Excuse me?
And we'll go next to Terrell Van with FightView360.com. Please go ahead.
How you doing? This question is for Felix. Right now, your BoxRec lists you at 13-1-2 with 9 KOs. Now, the first thing that comes to mind is a fighter by the name of Jason Rosario. And I'm wondering if, when you look at how he came into the fight as an underdog, meaning really didn't know who he was, and in the situation that you have right now, you're fighting in an unprecedented time. So my question is there any extra pressure, or do you feel that this is what you need or something like this to actually get you to where you've always wanted to be in boxing?
Well, actually, I don't got no pressure. I feel that this moment I have to give it all, and this is a great opportunity, like I always say. And I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna give it all on June 9th, and I know that I'm going with a great boxer, a great boxer. He got speed, he got technique, but I'm gonna work. He's gonna make me work, and I'm gonna make him work. I know it's gonna be a great fight, and I get motivated because I know that this opportunity doesn't happen twice.
Okay, thank you. And my question next is for Bob. The question I have is, can you go a bit into, will there be anything, different for media in regards to anything virtual media days, or any way we as media from home will be able to talk, to the boxers before or maybe after the events?
First show, no. First two shows, no. First two shows, we have our hands full getting this off the ground. Maybe we can arrange for conference calls after the fight. But, even the television crew from ESPN will be broadcasting this from a remote location. We will not have media at the event because of the whole testing, and we want to make sure that everybody is safe with these first two events. We have our hands full. We haven't done it before. We want to make sure that everything goes smoothly because there's a whole bunch of, there's 30, ESPN has at least 30 people in their camera crew. The commission has another 20 or 30 people with the referees and inspectors. And so we eliminated media in the bubble in the arena for the first two shows. And what we hope to do, once we see how well these events have gone, is to now open it up to a limited number of media at first for the second week, and then expand as we go along. We'll be doing these fights in this bubble with no spectators at least through the end of July, probably longer, but in this place, at least through the end of July. So as we become more and more familiar with the policies that we have to have, then we'll start allowing media into the event where they can ask questions.
And just to follow up on what Bob said, we will be having a virtual post-fight press conference. So media will receive information about that early next week, and we'll go from there. Thank you. And Felix has time for one more question, so fire away for whoever's next.
Perfect. Thank you.
We'll take our next question from James Bell with the Boxing Source.
Here,
Please go ahead.
Mic, just in case over on that end.
Yes, question for Felix.
Jeez, y'all seen that big ass super mosquito?
How is it to
What in
kind
the
of like
world
be in
was
this
that?
particular position where you'll be featured in the first fight back as far as like boxing on a large scale
What was that?
here in the U.S.?
Can you ask me the question again?
Now, what I was asking was, like, how is it for you to be featured in the first large-scale boxing event in the U.S. after, you know, the whole COVID-19 thing?
Well, it's great. For me, it's great. You know, I never thought we were gonna fight this year again because from the pandemic of COVID. I thought that I was gonna fight and all this year, And when I got the call, well, I got excited. You know, I just got ready and started training harder because I never stopped training. But I got excited and I started training hard to this fight. So I did it fast. I started training in all moments.
Gotcha. And question for Bob. Seeing that you are kind of like the first one to have a series of fights being on through Top Rank at ESPN, like what is your mindset going through these first couple of months being the first major sport or having the first major sport out here in the U.S.?
We know the responsibility on our shoulders to make sure this thing goes well, that these fights are held, that they're interesting, entertaining, but even more important, that they're safe, that the fighters are safe, that the people in the arena, the commission people, the television people, that everybody is safe. That is our primary focus now. And once we get through a number of these and we know where we're going and we know what's working and what's not working, then we'll begin to expand it so it looks more like what we had before this coronavirus plague. That's the best I can do. I can't just wave a wand and make everything perfect because I don't know how to do it. Nobody knows how to do it. But we've been, the Nevada Commission has been tremendous. They've worked very closely with us.
I'm going to find it.
There's been no nonsense with the doctors and everything, with the coronavirus czar in Nevada. Jim Mirren has been terrific. So he got us the testing. So again, we felt our way. We've worked through it. We're here now. We're confident that it's going to work. Do we know for sure? Absolutely not. But I believe that everything is going to go smoothly and that going into the end of June, July, we're going to get some really big fights that we're going to be showing the public.
All right. Thank you very much, Bob, and thanks. And thank you, Felix, for joining us on today's call. We're going to now move the conference call over to the 2016 U.S. Olympic
Bob will
silver
cuss you
medalist,
out.
the
They don't like
reigning
when you ask questions
WBO
about shit that
featherweight
don't have
world
nothing to do with the
champion
current
who's testing
call.
the waters at super middleweight. Please welcome the pride of Newark, New Jersey, Shakur Stevenson. Shakur, welcome.
And once again, at this time, if you would like to ask a question, please press star then 1 to ask your question now.
Hey, Shakur, before we get to the media, while we're waiting for them to dial in their questions, you were the last main event to be canceled during the COVID-19 pandemic. How does it feel to be the first major world-class fighter back?
First, I'm going to tell you I'm not a middleweight. I'm a featherweight. And next, it felt good being the first fight back because I was one of the first ones that got canceled. So it feels real good being one of the first fights back, and I'm ready to put on a show.
And we'll take our first question from Steve Kim with ESPN. Please go ahead.
All right, thank you, guys. Shakur, I think you may have answered my question. I know this is a non-title fight at 130. Is it your intention to go back down to 126 after this fight?
I don't know yet. I got to see how I feel at 130. With making the 130 weight. That'd be a question I can answer better for you after the fight. So right now I can't really give you a spot-on answer.
Mm-hmm. Shakur, I remember talking to you on that Friday
That's big news
after
right
your
there.
fight and your whole card got canceled. What was that weekend like for you?
It was bad because of the fact that I trained 8 weeks, spent a lot of money on training camp, and then to find out that I wasn't getting paid, that kind of made me mad. Found out I wasn't fighting made me mad because I felt like I put a lot of work in. I feel like I was going to perform really good. I was mad at that. So it wasn't a good week, but being around my family and friends, it kind of made it a lot better.
Okay. Bob, I have a question for you. Should Shakur indicate to you that he does have a couple of fights left at 126, do you try to revisit the Josh Warrington situation for him?
Absolutely. Let's see what's happening. Again, we're in uncertain times. Who knows when we'll be able to do events with spectators. That's a fight that needs spectators, and I know that the promoters over in the UK are working towards that. We're working towards that. Absolutely. Whether it's going to be in the States or in the UK, we want that fight, Warrington fight, to happen. I promise that to Shakur. Now, if, on the other hand, he feels that he's better off going to 130, well, we'll go along with that. In other words, I'm not going to force a fighter to fight at a weight which he shouldn't be fighting at because it takes too much out of him to make the weight. So Shakur has great people with him, great technical people, his corner people, his manager, Jay Prince. They'll discuss it with him and discuss it with us. But certainly, if he decides to stay at 126, I'm going to, one way or the other, make the Warrington fight happen.
All right, guys. Thank you very much. Have a great afternoon, everybody.
All right, and we'll take our next question from Keith Eidick with BoxingScene.com. Please go ahead.
We're going to talk after the call.
Hey, Shakur, I was just wondering, did you have any familiarity at all with Felix Caraballo before you knew he was your opponent?
Nah, I ain't never heard of him before.
Since you found out he was your opponent, I know there's not a lot of video available on him. What have you been able to find out, and how much footage have you been able to find on him to study him?
I watched like one round. I seen everything I needed to see in that one round, and kept moving from there. I see a lot of holes in his game, so I'm gonna expose it.
With the one round that you saw, I mean, without giving away your game plan or anything, what did you notice?
I noticed that he's nowhere near on my level.
How do you expect him to come forward? Like, what are you expecting from him?
Him to come wild, wide, and try to land a big shot.
Okay. What was it like for you, Shakur, to have the extra 4 pounds? I know you haven't made weight yet, of course, but what has it been like for you to try to make 130 as opposed to 126? How much more comfortable?
It's a little bit more comfortable, but I think that I'm really a 130 pounder. Honestly, what I've been feeling like. So,
how hard is it for you? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What are you saying? No, go ahead.
I was the last time you had to make 126. I know you didn't get to the scale because the fight got canceled. But how was it for you the last time you were training to make 126?
It actually went better. It actually went better than I thought it was gonna go, but it's still work to get there. It's not easy. So I'm a real big 126.
Okay, great. I appreciate it, Shakur.
No problem.
And we'll take our next question from Jeremy Herringeff with fansided.com. Please go ahead.
It's good to finally be talking to you again with boxing and the long layoff. First question for Shakur. Obviously, the world is going through a large amount of turmoil with the pandemic and the murder of George Floyd. How have the problems surrounding our country and world impacted you mentally and emotionally, and how have you been dealing with those emotions?
Honestly, I've been more focused on my fight. I understand everything that's going on, and I'm with my people with everything that's going on. But I got a fight coming up, so I've been in the gym every day, going home. When I go home, I'm watching boxing. I've been in camp, so I'm not really too focused on everything that's going on the outside. I'm more locked in on what's going on the inside as far as boxing.
Talking about the boxing, your last bout was 8 months ago. As far as having that kind of distance between fights, do you think that time off will impact you either positive or negatively? And what goals do you have for yourself physically, and what do you hope to see from yourself in this fight?
Nah, I don't think the time off going to do anything because I'm a gym rat and I'm always in the gym. So me being a gym rat and in the gym, I probably got to get off a little rust in the first or 2 rounds. But other than that, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm in the gym every day. Ain't no way I'm going to have a rust just from being off 8 months when I've been sparring. I just did a full training camp for March 14th and then got right back in the gym. Took like a month off, then got in the gym. So I'm a gym rat. I don't think it's going to affect me.
The final question for Bob. Bob, you've been very transparent and very open with how you see things going in the future. Looking at the UFC, what are the 1 or 2 biggest missteps you saw in the way they handled the opening of their sport in live combat sports? And what have you done, would you say maybe the 1 or 2 things that you've done differently than them?
Well, we didn't feel the protocols that the UFC had when they opened up in Florida were adequate. And but again, you have to understand that they were the first out of the box, and so the fact that they made mistakes, that's understandable. They now have done an event in Nevada, and they're under the same type of protocols that we are, and I think it's all good because the Nevada Commission has cleared everything, whether it's UFC event or a top rank event, and their interest in the safety of the participants is the same for us and now for UFC. So I have to commend the state of Nevada, the governor, and the Athletic Commission in the type of effort and work that they've done to enable us to do these events on a basis of as much safety as humanly possible.
Thank you, gentlemen, and best of luck.
We'll go next to James Bell with the Boxing Source. Please go ahead.
Yes, this question is for Shakur. Given that you had the WBO featherweight championship, and there was talk about you potentially having a unification match with Josh Warrington, there is one fighter that has said that you are basically the only one to have courage to step up to him, and that's the WBC champ, Gary Russell Jr. How would you feel about a potential matchup with Gary Russell Jr.?
That'd be a hell of a
happening.
fight with me and Gary. I think we really are the best two featherweights skillfully in the division. So I think that'd be a hell of a fight. And Gary know I'm the only one that see how he talk about everybody else. He don't respect a lot of other fighters, but he respect me a lot because he been around me. He know my mindset. He know what I'm about. So I understand Gary when he said that.
Gotcha. And how is it like working with, the team around you with, Andre Ward being by your side and also sometimes working with Terrence Crawford?
It's good to have them people around me. I kind of need them people for me, and I appreciate having them. Like Andre Ward, he a big blessing to me. He helped me out in a lot of ways, inside and outside the ring. So Terrence also, Terrence keep me competitive, keep my mindset competitive, because I'm just as competitive as him, but he's so competitive it make me be even more competitive. So both of them guys in my life and in my career, it helps me a lot.
All right, thank you very much, Brother Shakur.
No problem.
Okay, we'll take our next question. Carlos Turo with Fightful. Please go ahead.
Hi, Shakur. Thanks so much for taking time to talk to us. Obviously you've mentioned that you're not sure of what your future is going to be in terms of moving, staying at 130 or going back to 126 after this fight. But is there a part of you that's kind of already thinking of how you would fare against any of the other champions at 130 in anticipation for what I presume is an eventual move up to 130?
Of course. I think that the champions at 130 is all decent fighters. I already picture myself in the ring with all of them already, so I already been thinking about that. I've been thinking about getting in the ring with Oscar Valdez, with Burchell, Santa Cruz, JoJo, even Jamil if I had to. So,
do you feel that with those potential fights, you feel that it may be easier to get them done down the road than it is for, say, a fight against Josh Warrington? Because I know that's been a fight you've been wanting for well over a year now at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think that'll definitely be an easier fight than Josh Warrington. With Josh Warrington, it comes a lot of business and politics with that, as far as the money being made for the fight and stuff like that. So I think that them fights will be a lot easier because you got Valdez and Burchell and them guys. They with Top Rank, and JoJo's with Golden Boy. I just fought a Golden Boy fight in my last fight. So I think them fights will be a lot easier than a Warrington fight.
Thanks, Shakur. Best of luck on June 9th.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Shakur, for joining us today, and thank you all the media for joining us today here as well. Just a reminder that Stevenson-Caraballo and the June 11th card headlined by Night versus Yenifel Vicente will be televised on ESPN and ESPN Deportes starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and it will be a 4-hour block of fight action each evening. So thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you all on Tuesday. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
And this concludes your call. Thank you for your participation. You may disconnect at any time.
All right, let's wrap this up. So, what we've learned so far is, first, let's talk about the card on June the 9th. Let's see here. It's going to be on a Tuesday. Top rank on the regular ESPN. It is how many fights on this card? You're going to have Shakur Stevenson fighting at 130, looking like he's not going to be going back down to 130 pounds. 126 pounds, unless it's Josh Warrington. So it's seeming like he's done with that division. Versus a Felix Caraballo, who not much tape on out there, not much footage. And basically we don't know what he's going to bring. He is 13-1 with two draws, 9 KOs. You have Michaela Mayer, who's on the card against Helen Joseph. She is creeping up on a women's title shot, likely a WBO at 130. Fighting Helen Joseph. Helen Joseph fought Delphine Persoon in her last fight. You also have Rabisi Ramirez, who I was at his first fight where it was an upset. So, as you can see, looking at the, let me pull it up real quick. Looking at the schedule, the fights that, Bob Arum was basically saying, like, these first few weeks is a test, pretty much. And that's kind of smart, right? They're testing shit out. So these fights right here, let me tell you what some hidden gems are. So, once again, here are the dates. You have June the 9th, June the 11th, June the 16th, June the 18th, June the 20th, June the 23rd, June the 25th, June the 27th, June the 30th, July 2nd, July 7th so far. Now, after this point, they want to start putting on, bigger fights. Like, these are just a test right now. Now, here are some hidden gems in here. By the way, this Facebook card this weekend I'm going to be covering is $5. Let's see. That June 11th, Jessie Magdaleno. I'm looking for some hidden gems. This could be okay as a nice little comeback fight. He fought Mo Hooker, right? Luis Nery is on the top-ranked card. Barbera Al Heyman lent him out. He's probably sick of him after not making weight. So as you can see, it's a lot of A sides and B sides versus D sides and like K sides. You see what I'm saying? Now, Jamel Herring versus Jonathan Oquendo. I'm all right with that. But Oquendo's pretty long in the damn tooth. Remember, we were supposed to get Herring versus Frampton, but they're not doing that without a crowd. Ivan Barancek versus Jose Zubaydah. Now, this one right here is the best fight of all these fights. Of all these fights right here, to me, Alex Saucedo returns. So, it's just, I'm going to be covering these fights. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to be covering them because, oh my God, that fucking mosquito thing is back. I'm going to get him in the vacuum. Hold on 1 minute. I'll be right back. I got to pause for a minute. Got to vacuum his ass. I don't want to get bit by that thing, man. I'm a fucking. I don't want to get bit by that damn thing, man. Anyway, back to what we were saying. I'm just making sure he's around here somewhere, man. Fucking all right. All right. Let me chill. All right. So, You know, we talked about this before. Even though we're gonna have like boxing, they're not like fights that we're gonna be like, oh yeah, I can't wait. They're just like placeholders. You know, something to keep us, you know, like a little bit not satisfied but pacified. A little bit of something like to wet our beaks. You know, that's all it is. It's just a little taste. You know, it's just a little taste. And we know with the makeup of boxing, you know, it's expensive to put on cards with no fans. And in an economy where you got guys like Joshua, you know, he can't fight in front of no fans. It's too much money to lose. You know, Canelo, they're saying all that shit like, yeah, we'll do it if we have to. But remember, their money will be guaranteed. It's the promoters like, nah, we ain't doing that shit because we got to put all them. Nah. You know, no, seriously, he's got these, what are they called? Like, they look like big ass mosquitoes and they got them long legs. Like, bro, how did he get in here? Like, that ain't cool. I'm about to abandon the whole shit. Go upstairs. But yeah, you know. And, you know, it's interesting. I want to see what Eddie Hearn is going to do because they talking big money shit, talking about like, fuck it, we're going to put on Dylan White versus Alexander Povetkin. So he did an interview with Sky Sports where he was saying basically when we come back, we can't come back with no bullshit fights. We got to come back hard during all this. So I want to see what he's going to do with his old fight. What is he calling it? Fight camp? I wish he would have came up with a better name. Basically, it's his childhood home. They're going to be hosting fights in the back garden. And it's not like a backyard. It's like all these acres and shit. You know? No, he's around here somewhere. I'm wondering if he's trying to circle around the lights. I'm going to vacuum his ass up. I be vacuuming all kind of them 100,000 leg bugs. I just vacuum them motherfuckers up. And I just let the spin cycle just go until they just, you know, spin out to death. I think that's humane for a bug. At least I'm not just smashing him. But anyway, moving on. You got to be, man, people are too, you know, sensitive these days. You got to be careful. So it's interesting because, you know, PBC, where are they at? I don't think that PBC has the infrastructure to be able to put on closed door fights. The fighters make too much money. And it's hard to say, I'm talking about for their infrastructure. I'm not saying fighters make too much money. I'm saying for the PBC model, they can't put on closed door fights. And Steven Espinoza with Showtime, he said, nah. So imagine, right, how many other fighters like Shakur Stevenson, he's saying he's pretty much done at 126. Imagine how many other fighters right now that we're not seeing that are getting fat right now as we speak. Imagine how many fighters are not going to recover from this. Man, my legs are exposed. My legs are exposed. Nah, why people keep saying PBC on their way out? Huh? Look at all the fighters they got. It's just that, you know, PBC's plan is kind of fucked up because whenever boxing does resume, we're going to be hit with so many pay-per-views, and most of them are going to come from them. Like, think about it. The first time they have crowds ready, we got to have fucking Santa Cruz versus Tank Davis. We got to have Spence versus Danny Garcia, Wilder versus Fury 3. What other pay-per-views they have? They really trying to do something with one of the Charlos on pay-per-view. I don't know. I don't remember if they were trying to do Charlo versus Rosario on pay-per-view. I don't remember, but they're trying. And also, it's a good time for people to step their fucking game up. For those who wasn't here when I did the video live, you know, like that, you know, that shit that Reddy Raheem and Joey Phelps, all that shit they was on, that was some weirdo shit. They used to shit on us for years and all that. I like, oh, just the YouTubers and shit. Now look at y'all. Fucking motherfuckers. Of course, their pay-per-view sales are going to be fucking horrible because people are knowing how to get free content more than ever because people ain't paying their cable bills and shit. People know how to get free content more than ever. Pay-per-view is like, that shit is dying. That shit is done, bro. Surprisingly, though, UFC pay-per-view did, from my understanding, like better than it was supposed to be, than they thought it was going to do. You know? Man, that mosquito got me bitching. Crane fly. I never liked those things, man. You know, and then the country's all fucked up. Hell, the world's fucked up. This is nuts. So, yeah, we're going to have fights. Like, we're going to be able to see Miguel Burchelt in action, the Maloney twins in action. We're going to see Emmanuel Navarrete, Luis Nery in action, the return of Jose Pedraza, Joshua Greer Jr. But guess what? They're going to be fighting J-sides. But you know what? The good thing we can say is somebody not going to be doing what they're supposed to be doing and lose. So who's it going to be? Who's going to get upset by one of these guys going to be like, it's the pandemic. I'm going to go out there. I'm trying to get it. What if Felix Caraballo come out and fuck Shakur Stevenson up right in the A? That would be some crazy shit. You never know, man. This 2020 shit, you never know. 2020 is fucked up. Felix you know what? Can I gamble somewhere? That's it. I'm going to put the house on Felix Caraballo. I'm not putting the house on. I'm just saying. You never know. You never know. Yeah, I do want to see people get punched in the face. I've been enjoying the UFC for the most part. Yeah, we're gonna get probably one Rocky story through all of this. Who's it gonna be though? You think it's gonna be this guy? Uriel Lopez? You think he gonna upset Navarrete down in Mexico City? You think it's gonna be him? What about this TBA? You think TBA gonna make Luis Nery pay for his non-weight making sins? You think Al Heyman just said, fuck you, get out? How many straight fights has he missed weight for PBC? How many straight? He gonna get one of them Chavez Jr. weight clauses. Like remember where it was Chavez versus Brian Vera and Bob Arum, like we're doing something different, unprecedented, whatever Chavez Jr. shows up at is what's going to be the weight for the fight. He showed up at like 172. Like this is the weight for the fight. They need to do that with Nery. Whatever fucking weight you got to fight for, just set it 5 pounds below. 5 pounds above. But I'm going to be here covering this shit because I'm a boxing degenerate. So I'm going to be here covering all these fucking, I want to say it, these crap fights. But I don't want to be disrespectful, but I'm going to cover the shit out of them though. I'm going to cover the shit out of them now. We're going to see a whole bunch of people get beat up. Beat up during these tough times. But we need it. We need our bloodlust fulfilled. We need it. We are combat sports people. We need to see people get beat up. we need it. Yeah, UFC has some good fights. You know why? Because they're pay model. And they're all under the same banner. It's easy for them to say, nah, you fighting, fuck out of here. I bet you, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Conor McGregor in a closed door fight. They may not want it. Nah, that bug's still around here somewhere. I told you. He gonna get the vacuum, and I'm gonna leave it on. He gonna be just in there twirling, just twirling. Ivan Baranchyk versus Jose Zubaydah, though. I like that fight. That's July the 7th. Not a peep from PBC. Who else have we heard a peep from? Golden Boy talking that July shit, but I believe it when I see it. And all these fighters talking about something they ain't gonna fight in front of no crowd. Okay. Your ass gonna be on the shelf then. Your ass gonna be on the shelf. This could be a good time to reset the model. Phase out the sanctioning body shit. Get rid of them, damn it. You know? Don't say no shit like that. Don't say no shit like that. No, well, after this stream is over, I'm definitely going to hunt that motherfucking fly down. You think Barichek beats Jose Ramirez? Barichek a warrior, though. Jose Ramirez, I don't know. I don't know. It would be a bully fight. It would be a bully fight. I like Jose Ramirez. The next big fight could be White versus Povetkin. Or significant fight, White versus Povetkin. I think that's the first. Yeah. Fury Wilder 3, I'm going with Fury. If he don't knock him out again, he's going to outbox him. I don't want to talk about Wilder, man. You know this motherfucker still talking about him to this day and all the fucking little conspiracy theories and shit. I don't want to talk about that shit. No way. No way. You almost baited me into it. Fucking Wilder. Make me sick. Wilder's on my shit list, man. I don't want to talk about that shit. I read some news that what was that, boxing scene or the Athletic, that Canelo offered Anthony Durrell the fight, or going to offer Anthony Durrell. You know how that shit work. Motherfucking Anthony Durrell, it's a good chance he's going to turn that shit down. Fucking Caleb Plant. Broner ain't retired. He just can't get the money he want. Where he going to get that $10 million from? Fighting who? He may be able to get 5 if he fought Floyd. Maybe. Where he gonna get $10 million from? Like, come on, bro. I can see if he had like a Gabriel Rosado type thing where no matter how many times he lose, people are still like want to see him. But he disrespects us after he lose. Not only do he put on a shit performance, he disrespects us after he lose. And I like AB. And I'm a fan of his tunes. But you can't, from a business standpoint, you can't do that. So, obviously, I'm always going to pay for Adrian Broner fights, but I'm saying, you can't do that to the people. Where would he get, like, from a financial standpoint, where would he get $10 million from? What the fuck? What the fuck? Where would that shit come from? 10 versus Khan in the middle somewhere. Nah, bro, where? I don't know, bro. I don't know about that. Remember, the Khan Army didn't even show up for fucking. Nah, man, that Khan Army shit fake. I've been learned the Khan Army a bunch of fucking phonies. The Khan Army is a bunch of fucking phonies, bro. They don't turn up. Remember, they were supposed to have the Arab money way before fucking Joshua and Ruiz got it. Come on, man. I ain't trying to hear it. Fucking phonies. AB did say he was going to focus on music and robbing people. You think AB was out there looting somewhere? I wouldn't put it past him. I wouldn't put it past him. Middle East and Dubai. They always talk. You know how many times I've been all these years we heard that Dubai shit. Well, he can just go over to Dubai and fight on a yacht in front of 3 iron sheiks and get 50 million just for 3 rounds. This is Amir Khan in Dubai. The Khan Army. I've been tired of hearing that shit. Fuck Jake Paul, lost boy looking ass motherfucker. I can't stand that motherfucker. Why y'all motherfuckers keep saying I was out there looting? I ain't loot. Found that shit disgusting, to be honest with you. Motherfucker talking about some Khan and get the... Man, Khan been lying about that motherfucking money for years now. Still out there chasing Manny and Floyd around. That boat then sailed off. So yeah, we really didn't learn anything about that from that media call. Well, actually, we did. In a few weeks, there's going to be limited media involvement That's what he was saying about Ballroom. And they're going to be doing, hopefully, like some virtual stuff for media. 25,000, an event for testing, from my understanding. And people are saying I saw some people in the chat saying that the 25,000 for coronavirus testing was bullshit. But you got to think, like, that shit, from my understanding, is expensive. And you got to do it for everybody. The fucking cut man, the fucking everybody. You know, the trainer, the doctors, the EMT people. Like, they're promoting this event. So everybody's got to, just like everybody got to get paid a check, everybody got to have their test. Everybody there got to have their test. Spence versus Danny Garcia. I think so. Big balls on Errol Spence. Real big balls. Like, coming off of an accident, fighting one of the most feared punchers in 147 pounds. And don't disrespect Danny Garcia. Like, people don't stand in front of him. You do not want to get hit with no Danny Garcia, no look left hook. Like, that shit will fuck you up big time. Big time. You know, he flat-footed and he sit on them things. But Errol Spence is the better boxer. Errol Spence wasn't returning in no June. What if they burn down the venues? Motherfucker, what kind of question is that? Delicious. Delicious. Num, 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 num. Bro, what the fuck is y'all talking about? So yeah, when is the next UFC event? Isn't it 250? Oh, look at this. What? Hold up. I had to make sure the Skype was turned off. No, that chick took that whole box of vodka. She took that shit. That's what I was more like. I was thinking, like, all right, if people go steal sneakers and shit, it's like, all right, steal sneakers and shit. But for you to be, like, in there, like, it was blood all on the floor and, like, man, by the way, I got some footage of some exploded ATMs. You know, they were really going around blowing up ATMs. So what happens when the money catches on fire? People getting killed by the shrapnel that's, exploding pieces of metal. And people, man, are stupid. Stupid. I was outside last night, and the National Guard is just like chilling in parking lots. So, in Philly now, things have been calming down. I haven't seen nothing on the news from last night. So the looting, for the most part, the looting is stopped. I mean, people still trying shit, but they seem to have gotten the Philadelphia under control. What the fuck are y'all talking about? Y'all on some weirdo shit. Y'all starting to piss me off now. That shit was 3 days ago. It was literally 3 days ago, and y'all still talking about it. Don't fight with a looter. This shit is fucking old. Ain't no fucking looting going on. Grow the fuck up. See, y'all got me cussing up a storm. Yeah, the protests done died down and everything. They didn't stole everything that they can steal. Some places had to put signs up to say, yo, nothing left. Y'all already stole everything. Like, what the fuck? So I know one thing, and I'm going to say it again. When I see people walking around with all them new sneakers and shit, I'm going to think like, yo, like, I know you ain't buy them shits. Fuck that. I'm scared to buy some new sneakers from East Bay, from the East Bay. They might think that I did some shit. You know? I love my Versace robe. But yeah, I'm not really looking forward to these fights. I am looking forward to seeing Carlos Molina fight again. No, not that Molina. Not the one that fought Amir Khan. This Molina right here. Remember this dude? He's still around. Big fights against Ishe Smith, Cornelius, Kanan Bundrich, Corey Spinks, James Kirkland, Kermit Citron, Irislandy Lara, Mike Malha Alvarado, Chavez Jr. twice. He's still around. He fighting on Facebook. He was supposed to fight a Charlo, from my understanding. Yup, he was supposed to fight a Charlo. And then he got a stat rape charge. Like, was it fight week or close to the fight? Close to the fight. Did I watch the Josh Kelly fight? Did I cover that? I don't remember. Nope, I was sick. I was in the hospital. I ain't cover that fight. That was in March of 2018. March 31st, 2018. He would have won if Mundine fought Carlos Molina in 2013. What? What are you talking about? He was supposed to fight him? I don't remember none of that. So, you know, can we really say that with this schedule that boxing is back? I mean, it is boxing, but it's not back. So when we say that boxing, like when we do get our first big fight, I guess that's when we say boxing is back. There he is. Got him. He thought it was a game. I got him, y'all. I got him. Got him. I feel so much better. He flew like right. I feel so much better. I don't know. It's too much pet fur and debris in here. I can't really find him. I think he's like smashed against like some other debris. No. Whoa. I was paranoid. I'm glad he's gone. All right, so what was I talking about? Oh, yeah. Boxing is not back yet. All right? That's what I was saying. You know, it's back. We get to see people get punched, but it's not back. In fact, let me pull up the UFC schedule right now and see what fights I'm covering. Because I do want to play some video games and watch some UFC tonight. I think I'm going to start streaming on my Twitch channel like tomorrow, like soon. Saturday night, June the 6th. So that Carlos Molina fight may have to wait. Yo, that UFC pay-per-view. I don't know. That joint looking kind of weak. Is it just me? That card looking kind of weak. I mean, I understand she the My bad. I understand she the champ, but shouldn't that, like, are they charging people for that? Oh, Mundine and K9. Yeah, that UFC card looking like a UFC Fight Night type card, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Not really. I mean, from my understanding, Nah, UFC ain't trash, bro. I mean, you do have some fights where you just be like, ew. And by the way, they got some real weird scoring shit over there with them too. And if you don't know, did you know that Adelaide Bird is a fucking UFC and a boxing judge? What she know about them rolling around on the ground? She got some nerve, man. And her bird call. Oh, man. Well, yeah. All right, fellas, I'm getting up out of here. What time is it? 5:15. I'm getting up out of here. Busy, as you can see. Remember, we have cards June the 6th, June 9th, June 11th, June 16th, June 18th, June 20th, June 23rd, June 25th, 27th, 30th, the 2nd of July, and the 7th. We're going to be busy. So even if they're not, great fights in A sides and B sides and sometimes C sides versus D sides, K sides, and W sides, we still got a job to do for you, the people. I'm TstreeT Controversy with FightView360.com. We cover every single major fight live. See you this weekend. Please subscribe.